It's a tale of the ties that bind us.
Try not to judge my husband right away. I'll try.
You nuts, lady!
The people we can count on.
Would you like to hear about my favorite community health program?
God, no.
And the ones we can't.
I'd like to acknowledge past actions for which I am ashamed. This is great we're doing this.
And the surprises.
I'm resigning immediately. You're governor. Congratulations. You really couldn't have gotten this any other way.
Well, that bring it all to a boil.
Any last minute advice?
Don't take Ambien more than 3 nights in a row.
And that's a clip from Ella Mackey. I am delighted to say I've been joined by its writer and director, the legendary James L. Brooks. Hello, James. How are you?
Good. Thank you. Good to be here.
It's very, very nice to see you. It's a privilege to have you on the show. Introduce us to, there's lots I want to talk about, but introduce us to your new movie.
Oh, wow. It's set in 2008 because, you know, in the United States, it was certainly true. We still liked each other then,
Yeah.
before our Great Division. And there's a woman who wants to fix everything that's in front of her. And she's clearly superb from out of the box. She also has an errant father and the opening scene just before titles is a family fracturing just from spontaneous combustion. Woody Harrelson plays a charming miscreant, and that sets her up because there's a bit of autobiography in just coming from family trauma, and then the way that chases you, the way you operate around it, the way you deal with it, but it's always sort of there.
So she is lieutenant governor. Can you explain what that role is in? Because our politics are obviously similar but different. So who is she?
Well, the governor is the head of a state. We
Right.
have 50 states. It's a big job. You really have great authority at the state. Lieutenant governor is usually runs on the ticket. And in this case, she's lieutenant governor because she knows policy backwards and forwards. She's a real wonk. She can't stop. She has to fix things. The governor has depended on her because he's a retail politician. He gets the votes. He has the charm. She's the worker. And then he gets a cabinet position in Washington. So a Secretary of the Interior, so that she suddenly, the person behind the curtain, comes into the spotlight.
So the role of Ella Mackey is played by Emma Mackey.
Yes.
Can you just explain? So I admit I was getting them a bit confused when I was writing all this down. In the audition process, can you explain how Emma came into this? Because her name is so similar to the title of the movie.
You know, and everybody tells me I should correct it, that the last thing you want is to confuse people. But I was living with Ella Mackey as the title of the movie for so long. And it might have been a mistake, but I kept the title the same. We were pretty far down. And then Emma Mackey shows up. And shows up after, because it's a huge part for a woman. She has to play a 16-year-old, convincingly. She's and I had in my mind there was this golden age of movie comedy, and Katharine Hepburn, Audrey Hepburn, and it was just that was the time when the spirit was when there was a spirit that I loved and I try to just pay tribute to with this picture, leaving room for the fact that she is a child of trauma and some of this stuff is pretty serious.
Yeah, but when she came into the audition, did you know straight? Because I think it was quite late in the process. She obviously did something that made you think it's definitely her. Old school charm.
No, I had been looking, and it got scary. If you can say, if you build it, she will come, and suddenly she walks in. You're waiting for that moment. Now you're months into looking all over the place, and you haven't gotten it yet. And then I first on a Zoom. No, it was first in London, I think it was, and I saw her, and she was so right, and she did one of the monologues from the picture. And she was so touching that I didn't believe it. Too good to be true, I expected bad news. And then we did another one right away, and it's just. I mean, you need luck. You know, it's so crazy how you need a break. Sometimes the break is you don't get somebody you were after, and you find, you know, and in this case, she walked in.
It's a very American story, but with a kind of a British heart, because she is Anglo-French, and Jack Lowden is Scottish, and Jack Lowden is married to her. So we are very familiar with him over here, particularly with Slow Horses, of course. What were you looking for in Jack? Why did you get him in there?
It's a very difficult part he plays.
He's very good at it.
And he's. This always sounds so. I mean, when you say things like this, it sounds overstated. It's not overstated with him. He's a thrilling actor, and I think it's the spirit, the fact that the joy of it, the fact that the theory that it's supposed to be fun, not agony to do this, and he had that spirit, and it's. I'm so used to and it's right. You're going to go into a scene and the actor has a discussion. Mm-hmm. This is what the scene. What do you think? What do you think? With Jack, he was off like a shot doing, just out of the starting gate, and I think it was a really difficult part because you had to understand what she's doing with him, and then you have to have these few hints of maybe it's a mistake.
You've been very busy producing movies, but what was it about this project, this script, which is your script, but what was it about this that made you want to direct again, which you haven't done for 15 years?
I was working. I do The Simpsons. I love that job, but I was going nuts not writing something new, and then finally that got to me, and for a long and the characters came. The characters came first, then it was working out the narrative. But the characters popped up. In a way, you're always trying, even though this is set in 2008, just to get away from all our current politics. You're trying to nail a contemporary heroine.
I've never felt nostalgic for 2008 before, but I came out of your movie having laughed a lot, thinking things were better then, and particularly thinking if only American politics, which obviously we see a lot of here, if only American politics is like it is in your movie. When the worst, I guess from a progressive point of view, the worst thing that we could imagine was George W. Bush, and now we see Ella McKay. You go, yes, why can't it be more like that? So why is 2008 your divide?
As the narrator said, we still liked each other. And even though there was a recession on at the time, it was still all for one for all. And then the division happened. And the division is such a horrible occurrence in the United States, that people that were generally together and suddenly were on sides. And So this is nostalgia for when we were all one people.
So is that social media that has driven that? That would be the standard interpretation.
Well, it's sure an echo chamber for that, and then reinforces it. Yeah.